Novell paid $210 million for a European Linux company it couldn't quite save. That bet, the open platform outlasting its corporate owner, is now repeating in AI at a much larger scale. Platform conviction, not certainty. In 2003, Novell saw its proprietary networking road ending, so it acquired SUSE Linux. Novell didn't survive, but SUSE went through 4 more corporate owners after them, and is still running enterprise infrastructure in 2026. Therefore, the question isn't which AI model wins this year. It's which platform outlasts every company that tries to own it. The organizations building closed AI modes are making the same bet NetWare made.
Let's get into it.
Welcome to the Hamberger Report, History of Linux Wednesday. I'm Andreas Hamberger. November 2003, Novell announces the acquisition of SUSE Linux AG for approximately $210 million. Founded in Nuremberg in 1992, SUSE had grown from a German localization effort into the continent's dominant enterprise Linux platform. Where Red Hat dominated American data centers, SUSE was the standard in German government offices, Swiss banking infrastructure, and Nordic telecommunications. By 2003, Novell was haunted by its own success. NetWare had run the world's corporate networks through the 1990s. NDS Novell Directory Services was for its time the most sophisticated enterprise directory system available, years ahead of anything Microsoft offered. Then Windows NT arrived, then Active Directory, then Windows 2000 Server. NetWare's market share eroded, account by account, renewal by renewal. By 2003, Novell's core revenue was in structural decline. The question facing the board was not whether to change direction, but whether the company had enough runway left to change. That is what strategic technical debt looks like from the inside. The deal brought Novell approximately 500 employees in Nuremberg, deep relationships in European government and financial institutions, and a technically strong distribution built around a YEST configuration tool. The timing had a dimension the public announcement did not fully capture. SEO Group had spent 2003 threatening to sue every organization running Linux, asserting ownership of Unix copyright material it claimed had been incorporated into the kernel. But Novell, not SEO, held the Unix System V copyrights. SEO's billion-dollar legal campaign rested on intellectual property it had never actually acquired. Novell was buying its way into the center of the industry's defining legal dispute. Walk the enterprise Linux landscape of 2003 and you see 3 competitive pressures. Red Hat had validated the open source business model and dominated American data centers. IBM's $1 billion Linux commitment had provided the board-level air cover enterprise buyers needed. Microsoft was fighting with the Get the Facts campaign, commissioned studies showing Linux carried higher hidden costs and lower reliability than Windows Server. SUSE's differentiation was specific and defensible. European government and financial sector customers preferred the Nuremberg engineering base and its certifications. YAST was measurably ahead of Red Hat's administration alternatives, and Novell owned the Unix copyrights. Microsoft was running Get the Facts. We were offering documented legal certainty. The Novell ANZ pre-sales team was 7 highly skilled senior individuals with deep technical specializations and commercial competency. Not a support function, a revenue function measured against quotas across Australia and New Zealand. 2 streams: market development, national roadshows, tender responses, thought leadership, and consulting delivery, Active Directory integration at Public Trust New Zealand, Exchange integration at Centrelink Australia. The accounts from that period: Coles Group, Telstra Australia, Queensland Transport, NIWA, Centrelink. Global Novell Awards followed. What mattered was that we were winning accounts that should, by conventional market logic, have gone to Red Hat or Microsoft. The SUSE acquisition was not perfect execution, but the pattern mattered. Attachmate acquired Novell in 2011, separating SUSE as a standalone business. SUSE subsequently passed through EQT Partners in 2018, completed a public offering in 2021, and was taken private again in 2023. 5 corporate owners. The distribution endured. In March 2026, Mistral AI released Small 4 under Apache 2.0 licensing. Mistral is a European company making a strategic bet on open-weight AI in a market where proprietary systems currently dominate, exactly as SUSE made its bet on open-source Linux in a market where proprietary Unix had historically dominated. The structural parallel is direct. The shift from NetWare to Linux was not just a technology migration. For every IT professional who lived through the Linux wars, it was a choice about where to put credibility and career capital. The ones that chose Linux in 2003 are running the infrastructure that now powers the cloud, the containers, and the AI workloads that define the 2026 enterprise. The organizations today building proprietary moats around AI models, refusing to contribute upstream, and treating their weights as indefinitely defensible assets are making the same bet NetWare made. The open platform is already here. The community is already building around it. Novell's bet was not certainty, it was conviction. That is the Hamberger report for today. If this was useful, subscribe and hit the like button. It helps more professionals find the channel. You will find links to everything we covered in the description below. I am Andreas Hamberger, and I will see you tomorrow.
Like and subscribe.